Nigerian politician has been where I've been. Peter Obi is making one of the boldest claims of his political career, and it is already stirring conversation across Nigeria's political space. The Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, now aligned with the Nigeria Democratic Congress ahead of 2027, says no politician in the country today has covered the ground he has covered. He is using that record as his direct answer to critics who insist he cannot unite a country as diverse as Nigeria if he is elected president. The claim was made during an appearance on Sunday Politics on Channels Television, in an interview that has quickly become one of the most talked about political moments of the week. Obi was responding directly to comments credited to former Borno State Governor Ali Modu Sheriff, who had publicly questioned whether Obi has what it takes to bring Nigeria's regions together. Rather than deflect the criticism, Obi confronted it head-on, insisting that his years of personal travel and engagement across every part of Nigeria give him an understanding of the country that, in his words, few, if any, politicians active today can match. He told his host plainly that no politician working in Nigeria right now has traveled by road to the places he has been. He said those journeys were never accidental or convenient. He undertook them, he explained, because he wants the country to remain one united nation, and because he wanted to understand its people directly, on the ground, rather than through reports handed to him from a distance. To support that claim, Obi walked through a long list of personal interventions across the north, a region his critics have repeatedly suggested he struggles to connect with. He said he has visited Benue State as many as 4 times, going in person to communities affected by violence and displacement. He also revealed that he has spent Christmas and New Year holidays inside camps for internally displaced persons rather than at home with his own family, a detail he offered as evidence of a commitment that goes beyond the campaign trail. He then moved on to talk about infrastructure. Obi said he has personally funded borehole projects in several northern states, naming Gombe and Kaduna specifically as places where he stepped in to provide clean water access. He also described how the Faculty of Agriculture at Usmanu Danfodio University in Sokoto once told him all they needed was a borehole for their farm, and he said he simply provided it. Beyond Sokoto, he said his support has extended to Almajiri schools and a school of nursing in Bauchi, alongside other education and healthcare interventions scattered across the north.
Obi then reached further back into his personal history to make his point. He recalled traveling to Borno State at the height of the Boko Haram insurgency, at a time when many people avoided the state altogether out of fear. He went there specifically to sympathize with Governor Shetima after the killing of the governor's own brother, a gesture he framed as proof that his engagement with the North has never been about politics or elections. He also spoke about his separate visit to Borno following a period of severe flooding in the state. During that trip, he said he donated 50 million naira, met directly with the state governor and with the Shehu of Borno, and personally visited displaced persons living in camps. He did not stop there. Obi listed a broader run of humanitarian interventions stretching across Katsina, Kebbi, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Bauchi, and Sokoto, describing all of it as part of one consistent pattern rather than isolated one-off gestures timed for public attention. According to Obi, all of this travel and giving was deliberate and sustained over many years, not a recent effort dressed up for an election season. He said it was driven by a genuine wish to keep Nigeria together as one country and by an honest effort to understand its people on their own terms, rather than by any political calculation tied to the 2027 race. The interview then turned to a more pointed accusation, one that has followed Obi for some time, the claim that he has in the past made remarks perceived as anti-North. Obi dismissed this directly as false. He pointed out that many people closest to him, including his own aide-de-camp, are from the north, which he said reflects the kind of long-standing personal relationships he has built there over the years, not a manufactured image created for this campaign.
Obi also used a phrase during the interview that stood out to many watching. He said he is desperate to see Nigeria work. He repeated that sentiment more than once, using it to underline what he wants viewers to see as a personal, almost restless commitment to the country's progress, rather than a rehearsed talking point recycled for the cameras. As expected, the interview has already generated significant reaction, both online and among political commentators and analysts. Supporters of Obi are pointing to the interview as further evidence of a candidate with genuine national reach and a record that extends well beyond his political base in the southeast. They argue that the specific names of states, institutions, and dates he cited give the claim a level of detail that is harder to dismiss than a vague campaign promise. Critics, on the other hand, are likely to push back just as firmly. Some will argue that humanitarian visits, borehole projects, and holiday trips to IDP camps, however genuine, are not the same thing as a proven ability to manage the delicate political architecture required to hold Nigeria's diverse regions together in government. Others may point out that similar claims of unmatched national engagement have been made by other politicians in the past, and that voters will ultimately judge the claim not by the interview itself, but by what unfolds between now and the 2027 election. There is also the matter of former Governor Sheriff's original comments, which triggered this entire exchange. As of this update, there has been no fresh on-the-record response from Sheriff addressing Obi's rebuttal point by point, though that could change quickly given how much attention this story is already receiving across Nigerian media and political circles.
What is clear for now is that Peter Obi has chosen to make personal, physical presence in communities across Nigeria the centerpiece of his answer to questions about national unity. Rather than leaning solely on political alliances, party structures, or backroom negotiations, he is asking Nigerians to judge him by where he has personally gone, who he has personally met, and what he has personally funded, particularly in parts of the north that his opponents suggest he cannot win over. Whether that argument is enough to reshape perceptions ahead of 2027 remains an open question. It will likely depend on how rival camps respond in the coming days, how northern political stakeholders and traditional institutions react to being cited by name in this interview, and how everyday Nigerians weigh personal track record against the more traditional metrics of political viability, including party structure, funding, and regional alliances. For now, this remains a developing political story, one that has placed Peter Obi's travel record, his humanitarian spending, and his vision for national healing squarely at the center of early presidential race. This channel will continue to track reactions to this interview, including any response from former Governor Sheriff and other political figures named or implicated in this exchange. That is where things stand for now on Peter Obi's bold claim. Stay tuned to this channel for continued coverage as this story develops, and be sure to share your own thoughts on this claim in the comment section below.